kids, let's start today Prime Minister and Council of Minister. So we are discussing President chapter that President is the nominal head of the country. Then who is the real head of the country? Who has the real executive power of our country? Yes, it is Prime Minister and his council team. Prime Minister is called as the real head of our government. So, very important post is held by Prime Minister and his council team. Let us understand how is Prime Minister appointed, what work is he doing, what work is done by his council team, who all are there in his council team, and other information. Let us start first with PM, Prime Minister. As we all know very well, our current Prime Minister is Honorable Shri Narendra Modi ji. So, how is Prime Minister appointed? So, official appointment of Prime Minister in our country is done by President. Prime Minister is appointed by President. But you think President uses his own power to appoint Prime Minister? You think he appoints Prime Minister of his or her choice? No. Again I am repeating, Prime Minister is appointed by President. So when I say appointed, it is just a formal appointment is done by President. So then the one who is choosing the Prime Minister. So we all know very well when the general election take place. You all must be knowing last year 2024, there were general elections of Lok Sabha. So after general elections of Lok Sabha gets over, whoever is the leader of majority party. So majority means what? Kids, in this, make sure to use the word majority, not the winning party. You have to use the word majority. So after general elections of Lok Sabha gets over, whoever is the leader of the majority party is invited by President to come and form the government. And the leader of the majority party is appointed by President as a Prime Minister. But now you all will say, Miss, in 2024, none of the party got majority. Yes, you are right. In 2024, no wonder BJP was the winning party. But they were not able to reach the majority mark. So this is what commonly happens in our government. When no party gets clear majority, let's say no single party has got clear majority. In that cases, they will start forming the alliances. And the parties, basically we call them as coalition government. Group of parties will come together and they will try to form majority. So that is why in 2024, BJP ने alliance बनाया and finally they formed coalition government headed by NDA. The coalition was called as NDA. So let me put this again properly in your answer language. After general elections of Lok Sabha, the leader of the majority party is invited by President to come and form the government. If no single party gets the majority, in that case, group of parties will come together and form coalition party. And the leader of that coalition party will be invited to come and form the government, and that person will be appointed as Prime Minister by President. So that is how Prime Minister is appointed in our country. Now, remember one thing, Prime Minister now would want certain people, certain ministers from Lok Sabha, certain ministers from Rajya Sabha. In short, he wants certain member of parliament to come and work with him in his core team, in his exclusive team. You remember kids, in the olden days, king also used to have his team to run the kingdom. We were calling in the olden days that core team as Mantri Parishad. याद आया 9th standard में when we had done the previous chapter, we always used to say king was assisted by Mantri Parishad. Same way our Prime Minister is assisted by Council of Minister. He would want his team, which will be called as Council of Minister. That council team will help him to run the government. So, who decides who should be member of Council of Minister? Of course, Prime Minister. The decision or the choice is made by Prime Minister. But again, if the question comes, who appoints them? Then we will say President, but on advice of Prime Minister. Prime Minister would advise President that I want so and so a number of people to work in my team. And those people in his team will be called as Council of Minister. And they will be appointed on the post of Council of Minister by President. So basically here President has done the formal role of appointing them. But the real decision making power, the real choice is done by Prime Minister. So if the question comes, who appoints Prime Minister? President. Who appoints Council of Minister? President. But then you can elaborate. Council of Ministers are appointed by President on the advice of Prime Minister. Prime Minister is appointed by President, whoever is the leader of the majority party, or whoever is the leader of the group of majority party called as coalition government. So, Prime Minister would want certain ministers, he would want certain MPs to come and join he would want them to work in his council team. So, if you want to be a Council of Minister, if you want to be a part of Prime Minister's council team, what qualification a person should possess? Simple. Only the member of Parliament can be appointed in the council team of Prime Minister. Whoever is a member of Lok Sabha or whoever is a member of Rajya Sabha can be part of Prime Minister's council team. But again, there is a small confusion here that S. Jaishankar, who is our currently Minister of Foreign Affairs, in the past Indira Gandhi, who was our Prime Minister, Manmohan Singh, who was first our Finance Minister and then Prime Minister. So kids, these all people were never member of Parliament when they were given that post. Then how did they become member of council? So let me elaborate on that. It's a very important board question. There is a provision that even non-member of Parliament can be appointed in the council team. Sometimes Prime Minister would want certain expert people, maybe he's an expert diplomat or someone is an expert, like for example Manmohan Singh was an expert economist. So he would want certain expert diplomats or certain expert economists. He would want that person should be the part of his council team. In that case, PM would make him part of his council team. So my question is, can a non-member of Parliament can be a part of Council of Minister? Yes. Yes, he or she can also be part of Council of Minister. But yes, that person has to fulfill one condition. Let's say that person will be appointed in the council team. But the moment he or she is appointed, for example, when S. Jaishankar was appointed as a Minister of External Affairs, he was neither member of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. But within 6 months, he was appointed as a member of Rajya Sabha. When Indira Gandhi was appointed as a Prime Minister, she was neither a member of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. But within 6 months, she got elected to Lok Sabha. When Manmohan Singh, who was not a member of Parliament, when he was appointed as a Finance Minister, He was not a member of Lok Sabha, he was not a member of Rajya Sabha. But within 6 months, he got elected to Rajya Sabha. So what am I trying to tell you, kids? There is a provision that non-member of parliament can also be a part of council team. Only one condition should be fulfilled. From the date of his or her appointment, from that date, within 6 months, that person should be either elected or nominated to Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. If within 6 months that person doesn't get elected or nominated, ensure that person doesn't become member of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha within 6 months, then that person will have to resign from that post. So this is a provision for a non-member of parliament to become a member of Council of Minister, and this is a very, very important point. I want everyone in their textbook to mark this point as a very important provision for a non-MP to become Council of Minister. Now, in this Council of Minister, okay, in the Council of Minister, how many members are allowed? So right now in Lok Sabha, we have maximum we can have 550 members. Currently in our Lok Sabha, we have 543 members. Rajya Sabha maximum we can have 250 members. So 250, 543. Out of this, how many members can be part of council? So I'll tell you one thing. Earlier there was no such provision. There was no ceiling. There was no upper cap. How many members can be part of council? But now there is a provision that in the council, the number of members should not be more than, they should not be exceeding 15% seat of Lok Sabha. They should not be exceeding more than 15%. 15% say 15% से ज़्यादा members should not be part of. So maximum members allowed in council is 15% seat of Lok Sabha. So that is the official upper cap which has been put for the number of members that can be there as a part of council. Okay, now in Council of Minister, who all are there? Who all are the part of Council of Minister? So let us understand that. So Council of Minister will have 3 categories. There will be 3 categories. Very important to remember. So kids, I hope so far you all are clear how is Prime Minister appointed, how is Council of Minister appointed, how a non-MP can become a Council of Minister. Okay. Now let us understand who all are part of council. In council also there are many members. Are all of them equally important? No. In council there can be 3 categories of minister. The first category, whom I would say as a core of the government, nucleus of the government, is called as cabinet. Yes, they are the main policy maker of our country. They are the actually one who are running the government of the country. I am sure you all have heard about Nirmala Sitaram, S. Jaishankar, Rajnath, Amit Shah. Who all are this? Amit Shah, our Home Minister. Nirmala Sitaram, our Finance Minister. S. Jaishankar, our Minister of Foreign Affairs, External Foreign Affairs. These all are the people who actually run the government. They are the ones who hold portfolio. What do you mean by portfolio? The departments. Like somebody will be Railway Minister, some will be Finance, some will be Home Minister. So they are the one who hold portfolio. There are chances that one minister can hold more than one portfolio also, that is purely as per choice of PM. They are the one who actually frame all the policies, make all the programs of the government. They attend all the cabinet meetings. PM has to consult them before taking all the decisions. They attend all important cabinet meeting. They attend all important cabinet meeting. These are the people who are called as cabinet. As I said, they are the nucleus of the government. Entire government rotates around them. Cabinet. the most important category of people. Then we have second category of people called as Minister of State. They are the second category of minister. They might hold portfolio, they might not hold portfolio. They might attend cabinet meeting, they might not attend cabinet meeting. They will be consulted by PM, they might not be consulted by PM. They are the second category of ministers after cabinet. Then we have deputy minister. Deputy minister will never hold any portfolio. They will never attend any cabinet meeting. They will never be consulted by PM for taking any decision. Then they are part of council, but they are the junior ministers who are doing the work of assisting the higher category of minister. So these are the three categories of members who form council. So these three group of people together makes council. Cabinet, Minister of State and Deputy Minister. So you all must have understood very well till now that the real power is in the hand of Cabinet and PM. Yes, kids, you all are right. So in this cabinet, how many ministers should be there? Okay, out of council, how many members should be cabinet? Who should hold what portfolio? All this decision is taken by PM. PM usually tries to keep smaller council. As smaller the council, lesser the chances of conflict. Secrecy is better maintained. He usually prefer to appoint his trustworthy, experienced, he tries to keep senior most people on this post. How long this council of minister enjoy the post? They can be removed by president. They remain in power as long as to the pleasure of the president. What do you mean by this? That means they can be removed by president. Again, do you think president will be doing that on his own? When I say they can be removed by president, again I am referring only to the formal removal process. The formal dismissal letter can be given by president. Then who can remove them? They can be removed by president, but president will remove them if they lose the majority support in Lok Sabha. So in short, they remain in power as long as they enjoy majority support in Lok Sabha. If vote of no confidence is passed against them, in short, if they loses confidence in Lok Sabha, from Lok Sabha if they loses the confidence, they can be removed from their post. Now, so far we have done PM, council, and in council the most important team is cabinet. So first let us understand the power and function of cabinet. Let us understand the power and function of cabinet. So first we are going to talk about administrative function of cabinet. Administrative function of cabinet. Administrative function of cabinet can be divided into 4 categories. First, making the policy. So our cabinet ministers are holding the portfolio, finance, home, railway, health, education. All these portfolios are with them. So they make important internal and international both the policies of our country. हम लोग ने कितने सारे policies रोज देखे हैं, so all these policies are made by them. Usually every individual minister is given enough freedom to make policies for his or her department. But however, in certain matter, it will be a joint decision. So first is policy making. First power is to make policy. Second power is once a policy is made, we have to implement it. So second power is implementation of policy. Implementation of policy means to enforce that policy, to bring that policy in effect. So now when cabinet minister has to enforce that policy, they will take help of minister of state or deputy minister. Sometimes he might have to take help of police. Sometimes he might have to take help of the civil servant, UPSC, also IPS officer, IAS officer. So whoever's help is needed, with everyone's help, they will make sure that policy is successfully implemented. Then third is coordination of policy. So once coordination of the various department, they want to ensure that working of various department should be happening properly so that all the policies are smoothly implemented. Last is appointment. So now if you remember, we had done president chapter in which I spoke about which all people are appointed by president. So if you remember, we had spoken that president appoints judges of Supreme Court, president appoints judges of High Court, he appoints governor for every state, he appoints chief election commissioner, okay, and other dignitaries. All these people who are appointed by president is on the advice of Council of Minister. And let me tell you one thing, when I say council, it is in practical cabinet who is advising them. So the real power in council is also in the hand of cabinet. So all the appointments which are done by president are on the advice of cabinet. Now the second function are legislative power. Legislative power means, so first is introduction of bills. So we know that, see, bills can be introduced by anyone. Of course, money bill can be introduced only by Lok Sabha. But I'll tell you something, 95% of the bill are introduced by cabinet. And cabinet wants to make sure that this bill should become a law. They will carefully draft the entire bill. They will discuss this bill in detail in the houses to get the approval. They will explain the merit of that bill, why that bill should be passed. Basically, cabinet makes sure that their bill gets approval, easy approval at every stage, and finally it becomes a law. Do you know, if any bill is introduced by a cabinet minister, that bill will always be given a top priority. That bill is called as an official bill. But if there is some private member who has introduced a bill, that bill ke compare mein always cabinet bill will have upper hand. Second is, all cabinet ministers are source of information for their department. Every cabinet minister, suppose if we want any information about health, so health minister will be providing all the information about that from his department. Then we have amendment to constitution. Again, we had done this in chapter number 1 of civics. Okay, amendment of constitution is done by Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha individually by 2/3 majority, correct? Coming back to that point, amendment to constitution is done by parliament, but the real role in that also is played by cabinet. Also, summoning the house. If there has been a gap of more than 6 months between the two consecutive sessions, yes, who will summon the house? President. But the advice to president is given by cabinet. President's special address. So in the beginning of the year, president will address the house. In that address, he explains the policies and the working of the government. That address is prepared by cabinet. It is cabinet who will be preparing that address. Okay, president address. Ordinance. You all know very well ordinance. I have told you in every chapter is a very important topic. Ordinance are issued by president. But when both the houses are not in session, but the advice is given by cabinet. So these are the legislative power of the cabinet. Then we have financial power of the cabinet. So if you know the budget of our country, what do you mean by budget? Yes, estimation of income and expenditure for the financial year. is called as budget. So the budget of our country is prepared by finance minister. And who is finance minister? A part of cabinet. And I'll tell you one thing, kids. Any amendment in the numbers which has been decided in budget cannot be made against the wishes of the cabinet. If any amendment to budget proposal against the wish of the cabinet is passed in the Lok Sabha, it amounts to vote of no confidence. So once the cabinet has decided the numbers in the budget against cabinet's wish, no amendments can be made. If that proposal has been passed and they want to amend, it can lead to no confidence. Also, the government finances is decided by cabinet. Okay, government finances, so budget, then finances. Also, bills. See, money bill is introduced by Lok Sabha, but again the advice is given by cabinet. The real role is played by cabinet in that. So these are the financial power of the cabinet. And then the last power we have is emergency power. So you all know very well that in our country, president of our country has power to declare, general emergency. If country is going through any war or any aggression, any armed rebellion, president can declare national or general emergency. But a very important note on this, president cannot declare this emergency till it doesn't get in written from cabinet, from union cabinet to do so. So this emergency action, declaring emergency action can be taken by president only when that written order comes from union cabinet. So these are the powers and functions of cabinet. Now next we are going to talk about Prime Minister. So far we spoke about all the powers and functions of cabinet. Now let us talk about the powers and functions of Prime Minister. So first of all, let us understand what is Prime Minister's role with respect to President. So if you remember, the real power is in the hand of Prime Minister, the nominal head is President. It is on the advice of Prime Minister that President will summon the House and prorogue the House. Now, you must be wondering the same point I said in Cabinet. Yes, because President has to take advice of Prime Minister and Council. And when I say Council, it is actually Cabinet. So, a lot of powers will be repeated here. So, President will summon the House and prorogue the House on advice of Prime Minister. On the advice of Prime Minister, President will appoint Council of Minister. On the advice of Prime Minister, he will appoint people on different posts like governor, okay, these are people, judges. You know, President and Council के बीच में link कौन है? Prime Minister. They both will never directly coordinate with each other. It is through PM that they will try to coordinate with each other. Prime Minister's advice is very important for President. However, President sometimes might consider PM, might recommend PM to reconsider his advice. In that case, President's request is always accepted. Now, the next function of Prime Minister is, what is the function of Prime Minister with respect to Cabinet? So, with respect to Cabinet first, Prime Minister is the leader of the Cabinet. You remember I told you in the beginning, how many members should be there in the Cabinet? Who should hold what portfolio? There is no special provision in our constitution to vote for them. We just vote for the minister. But who will become finance minister? Who will become health minister? These all decisions are taken by PM. So PM is the leader of the cabinet. In fact, PM has power to allocate portfolio and take back portfolio or reshuffle portfolio. PM can select any minister and can dismiss any minister. PM has power to make sure that he direct and coordinate all the policies for their success. If PM resigns, entire cabinet will resign. So that is the role of PM in cabinet. What is the role of PM in parliament? PM is the leader of, he is the leader of majority party in Lok Sabha. In short, he is the leader of Lok Sabha. PM is the chief spokesperson of the government. We have seen so many times our Honorable Prime Minister has come and addressed the nation. Whenever any important announcements are to be done on behalf of government, when the people of the country feels that we want government to answer us, it is PM who has to come and represent the government and be a chief spokesperson for the government. There are many of the times when PM's policy or the policy of his ministers are criticized or attacked. In that case, it is PM's duty to come and defend that policy or to defend the minister of his team. Also, many of the time in our country, some situation becomes very ugly. There are a lot of controversy. There are a lot of, the situation become very intense in our country in certain issues. We have seen there are many riots sometimes happening on the name of religion, on the name of caste, on the minorities issue. So many of the times any such situation happens, PM has to intervene in that matter and settle that matter. PM's intervention is needed in that. And last, what is the role of PM in the nation? PM represents the nation. When he speaks, whole nation is speaking on his behalf. In the general election, it is the proposed PM for whom we are voting. In fact, PM will decide whether we should declare war or we should get into peace. So when Operation Sindoor happened, you know very well, it was purely Narendra Modi's decision that what should we do in this situation. Whenever there are any international conferences, any international event, for example, there was G20, whatever such summit happened, PM will be representing our country and he will try to make sure that he gets things done in interest of our country. Also, at the time of crisis in our country, even the opposition party has to coordinate and cooperate with PM. PM is ex officio chairman of two important group in our country, two important committee, Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog is the planning committee of our country, and Atomic Energy Commission. PM is the ex officio chairman of these two. So we saw these are the powers and functions of the PM. So kids, after going through powers and function of PM and cabinet, don't you think PM has exclusively like lot of powers? So who will keep check on his working? How will PM's work will be kept under control? So PM's position can be kept under check by press, media, public opinion. Opposition party, second, it is always looking for an opportunity to keep on criticizing our PM. Also, if it is a coalition party, it is very important for PM to make sure that he continues to get support of the other parties. In fact, PM is the leader of majority party, so his own minister also should continue supporting him. If he loses the majority of his own party member, he will lose his position. So press, public, media, opposition, if there is a coalition party, other parties and his own ministers. These are the people who keep check, who keeps control on the working of PM. And the last concept, individual and collective responsibility. So, our Council of Ministers, in short our cabinet, is collectively responsible to Lok Sabha. What do you mean by collectively responsible to Lok Sabha? So let me tell you one thing. Whenever any cabinet meeting happens, all the decisions are taken by majority of the members of cabinet. Now there might be some members who must have not agreed to that decision, but if majority agrees, that decision will be taken. Now in that situation, if suppose some mistake happens and a vote of no confidence is passed against one minister, in that case entire cabinet or council team will take the responsibility and entire council will have to resign. Only that person against whom the vote of no confidence is passed, not only that minister, but entire council of ministers will resign and government will be dissolved. So they work as a team. They collectively take responsibility of their actions and decision. This is called as collective responsibility. Then what is individual responsibility? Individually they are responsible to president. That means they can be removed by president on the advice of prime minister. So I'll tell you, every minister is responsible for the department or for the department he or she is holding. If from his or her department some mistake has happened, maybe some breach of secrecy happened, or some work got delayed, okay, or some policy was not properly executed, in that case that minister should take the responsibility of the shortcoming of his or her department and should resign. If he or she will not resign, in that case prime minister will advise president to dismiss him. This is called as individual responsibility. So collectively responsible to Lok Sabha, individually responsible to president. Collectively responsible to Lok Sabha because with the help of vote of no confidence they can be removed by Lok Sabha. Individually responsible to president because of the advice of prime minister, president can remove individual minister. So this is a very important concept of collective and individual responsibility. So that was your chapter of Prime Minister and Council of Minister. Thank you.